Good evening, everybody. This isn't quite the plan. This isn't quite the plan, as it were. We've got the shrimp, but we're missing one in action. Lass is okay. Well, she's okay. Her legs have decided they're going to, I don't know whether it's too melodramatic to say conk out, because I don't know if it's a permanent thing or whether, you know, it's a temporary thing. My gut feeling is that her legs have had enough. What happened was water. Well, to be fair, actually, nothing has happened. I'm guessing it's age and just, you know, being so active. Maybe it's just caught up with her a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, she started off with arthritis in the front left paw, and it had been there, I don't know, a year, maybe a couple of years, and really she just ignored it for the most part. It was not a problem at all, and to be fair, I don't really think that is a problem now, because I think other things have taken over from that. So obviously a month ago I was in the Peak District with Ash. I mean, she was walking absolutely fine there. I mean, in the video that I did, you even see her jumping over, clearing a, what, 2.5 foot fence. And she's cleared it straight over. And I came round here a week ago, or 10 days ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago. I mean, time goes so quickly. I think it was 2 weeks ago now. Fine. No indication whatsoever of any problem. And then Friday last week, we were just doing our local walk, and 5 minutes into that walk, she picked up a little limp in the back leg. And I took her to the vet, and they gave the usual Metacam drops and said, you know, rest her, no, not too much walking, just let her rest. I gave her over the weekend because the original plan was to go to Dartmoor and do a short walk on Monday this week. The weather wasn't very nice, and I thought, okay, what we'll do is let's think about Tuesday, because one, the weather was better Tuesday, well, otherwise it turned out it was a pretty miserable day on the Tuesday when we did do a very short walk. But basically we rested over the weekend and Monday, and her foot got a little bit better. She still had a very small limp on it, but it wasn't too bad. It was seemed to be getting better. And I thought, okay, I want to go down to Dartmoor. And I was thinking, I must admit, at this point, I was starting, just in the back of my mind, I was starting to think, well, you're coming up to 11, and I wonder whether the longer walks, that we were doing might soon be, getting a bit too much, where we might have to curtail those. So I thought, okay, we'll do the short walk on Dartmoor. It's like 45-minute walk, maximum an hour into camp. It's an easy trail path. It's really easy. We've done it dozens and dozens of times. So I thought, okay, we'll take a chance and we'll do that, and then we'll just do a resting in camp as well. So we're walking on the Tuesday, and it was the Tuesday evening, so we had all day Tuesday as well to recover. And we started walking, and after a maximum of 20 minutes, probably less, we were 30% of the way into camp. We hadn't got very far, and normally she's kind of like around me or in front, but I keep a close eye on where she is, and I had Lizzie as well on that trip, because like I said, it's a super easy, safe, relaxing walk. And after about 20 minutes, something like that, it wasn't very long, we hadn't gone very far, I looked around and I saw her walking behind me, and my heart just sunk. And I thought, oh my flaming heck, God. And she was walking, but if you can imagine an old banger, an old car that's dropped down on its spring things, that's how she was walking. It's like her legs had just said, that's enough. We've come to the end of the line. And I knew straight away that trip was over and done with. I mean, it's lucky that it happened at the beginning of a very short trip, rather than, a longer trip and something had happened. Of course, being a typical stupid man, I thought, okay, let's just give you, just in case this is my eyes, or maybe you're just walking a bit funny, let's just walk for 20 seconds and just see. So I said, okay, come on, let's keep going. And because just tell straight away as I was watching, I thought, no, this isn't good. So I said, okay, we're going to have to head back. We had the long, slow walk back to the car. I picked her up and carried her some, but I had my pack was about 18 kilograms, because I had 3 days of food, because we're going to do 3 nights. I had 3 days of food. I put all the dog's food in my pack. Because Lassie had this limp, I thought, well, I'm not going to, and it's not very far and I can carry it. Normally I'd give her a pack. But I thought, well, okay, well, I won't, I'll carry the food. So I had the food. So the pack was about 18 kilograms with the food. I'm borrowing Chris Townsend's Sulu. I had the Sulu in. I'd put the I put his Enan in, and my Acto, and obviously my food, the dog's food, and just other bits and bobs as well. So it was a heavy pack. So I carried Lassie probably about, to be fair, probably about 25 or 30%, you know, of the way back. But she's just too heavy. I just couldn't do it. And we weren't that far, but it was a very, very slow walk, you know, back to the car. She was able to walk back, but she was clearly, you know, struggling with her leg. I just wanted to add one thing in while I think of it with Lassie. Some people might think, why didn't he drop his bag and, you know, carry Lassie, you know, all the way to the car? Well, first of all, I'm still not sure, even without the pack, whether I would have been able to have carried her, you know, the whole way. I would still have ended up having to put her down. Not put her down, but put her down on the ground. It was quite windy, although it wasn't howling a gale, but it was windier than I was expecting. The forecast for that evening was clear. And just our luck, the mists were in and it was raining, so visibility wasn't very good. And I have to admit, I didn't really fancy putting my bag down, getting Lassie in the car, and then spending ages trying to find my bag in the mist. So that was another reason why I sort of thought we better let's just get back to the car as best as we can. And as I say, the other thing is we were not very far away. If I'd have got into camp, because when I got back to the car, I was like thinking, well, it's a good job that we'd only got about 20 minutes, not into camp, which was 45 minutes. And when I got back to the car, I was thinking, okay, if that had happened in camp, I probably would have stayed in camp and let her recover. And if she'd have recovered, then we could have walked back. But now I can see that I'm home, that she's not recovered. So now if I had have got into camp, I don't know what I would have done. I might have had to have called out search and rescue to help me carry her back, because I just don't think I could have carried her for 45 odd minutes back, and then plus the pack, you know. And then with a long trip like that, I mean, I know 45 minutes it's not exactly a million miles, is it? But you know, I could have got her back to the car, and then I would have had to have left her in the car. And then I'm just kind of very thankful that at least it happened at the beginning of the walk and not later on in the walk. But I just wanted to add that in, because some people might think, oh, why didn't he carry her? It just wasn't really practical. I mean, it crossed my mind, you know, and I put my walking poles, because I was using my walking poles, and obviously I put them away, you know. I put everything away, so I carried her, you know, as much as I could. And then obviously you know, she walked, you know, some herself. So but none of it was ideal, to be fair. But you know, I did what I could at the time, you know, when I was, you know, thinking as best as I could, without plus worrying about, you know. I just felt, we need to just get back to the car and get home. And that was the quickest, most efficient way of doing it. But there's always other alternatives to everything. And we got back to the car, and we were on the moors between being parked and leaving less than an hour. I think she's going to need a lot of rest and just not doing very much. Just walking is just really difficult for, well, she can move, she can walk around the house, she can get down the stairs, she can get up the stairs too. But whereas like a couple of weeks ago, or even a week ago, she would kind of like almost run up steps. You could certainly jump into the back of the car. Now it's kind of like walking to the stair, and then she's like looking at it. She just hasn't got that bounce to move the feet to get them up the stairs. She's kind of got to concentrate and, you know, like lift her legs up. But she can get upstairs just slowly and gingerly. She's nearly 11, so I don't think I'd be wanting to do any operations or anything like that at a, you know, at the age of 11. So we'll just have to see whether she gets, you know, any better, or even if she started walking better. To be fair, I don't think I'd be taking her on a long walk now. I mean, I just wouldn't be able to trust her legs now. That's the way that she is at the moment. Just getting around the house and to the car is enough. What I was thinking, I'm thinking a bit clearer and less misty-eyed now as well, I must admit. The first few days of when I got back, it was quite... kept crying. You know, she's still around, she's still with me, you know, she's okay. It just feels very, very strange not having a black and white lump out here. And obviously I can bring Lizzie when the weather's like this, but as soon as it's cooler and wetter and miserable, or you're doing something more slightly more technical, then I can't take Lizzie. At the moment, a mum and dad, or a mum just about, is able to look after them. I did ask a neighbour, and they might be able to pop in and, you know, and check on them if I need to. So I might have that as an option, hopefully, so I can still get out but have them, you know, safe at home. We just have to play that one by ear. So I don't know what's going to happen with Lassie. I think in herself and her physicalness, she'll probably be good for another year or 2 or 3 years. Who knows? I don't know. I think it's just the legs. I think her body, mind, heart, I think all of that is still quite strong. It's just like her legs have just said, that's enough. We can't do any more. It was such a shock though, because like I said, a week ago, you know, it's only 2 weeks ago, she was running around here. Then she was in the Peak District before that, and that was a long walk in the Peak District too. That was, I don't know how many kilometres that was, but that was like 15 kilometre days. And she jumped in the, because we were in Ash's car and she jumped on the back seat. But I would never have seen this coming, I must admit. And I just wanted to, I wanted to get out camping this week. So I thought, well, okay, we'll just whip out Cheddar on the Saturday today. And then I'll get back earlier tomorrow, and, well, by lunchtime. And then I'll watch the tennis with her mum tomorrow. So we haven't got the videos or that we were planning on doing this trip, unfortunately. I did bring the bivvies, so I might try and do a video on the bivvies. Kind of see how it goes. Now I'm in camp and settled down. The plan was, as I say, to to get to Dartmoor Tuesday evening, sort of have Wednesday and Thursday just not doing anything, just resting in camp, and make some videos on the bivvies, because I'd put the bivvies in as well, and the tents over those few days. Oh, and I'd even put my camera in as well. So that's why the weight added up a bit. I wonder what dogs think, you know, do they, because obviously we know if our legs are exhausted or so, you know. I'm sure they must be intelligent enough to understand something. What I was thinking of doing was getting one of those, like a dog pram, dog pushchair type thing. They got like 3 wheels, 2 big chunky wheels at the back and then 1 wheel at the front. And then I can probably walk around the local park with that and then get her out by the water. Oh dear. Oh. People and pets, eh? It's funny, I was talking fine until I was starting to think about water. Maybe, hopefully, we'll still see a splashing somewhere. See how it goes. Hopefully, it's not as bad as it looks, but at the moment, as I say, it just looks like getting around the house and to the car is enough. I don't think even, you know, taking her for, you know, even for a short walk it's just not going to be possible at the moment. Like I said, if I get one of those wheelie things, then I can probably walk around the park with that. And that walk that I do on Dartmoor, I reckon that would be doable with a 3-wheel dog pushy thing. I reckon that would be doable. So maybe I need to find out, you know, how permanent this is, or is she likely to, you know, carry on going sort of, you know, indefinitely, you know what I mean? I don't mean forever, obviously, but, you know, if you get something, you're gonna get some use out of it. But I might be tempted to get one of those, and then, like I said, I think I would be able to. I'd have to keep my pack quite light because it'd be quite a push of that. But I reckon it would be. I reckon it would probably be doable. I think it'd be the easiest thing on the earth, but I think it would be. I think it would be doable, maybe, because it's quite a flat area. Even yeah, it's possible. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, not our usual happy, smiley, jokey, double entendre type of conversation today. Well, we've had this channel so long. We'll start working through dogs. if anyone knows any border collie breeders, let me know. I'm starting to put a few feelers out. If anyone knows Bushman and Plough, where did he get his from? But yeah, I'll put some feelers out, and you know, when a puppy comes along, I get another one at some point. But I'm not in any rush. You know, if it's this year, it's this year. If it's next year, it's next year. It doesn't. The thing with a puppy, there's never a right or a wrong time to get a puppy, because they're quite time consuming. They're quite time consuming and everything else. But I would definitely get another one. Kind of half of me sort of thinks, so maybe I shouldn't have waited quite so long, because I already had this thought in my mind that I would get one next year, which it probably quite likely could be anyway, because it depends when they come around, as it were. But I was thinking that Lassie would still be walking next year, and then to get one when she's walking, whereas now she can't walk so well. Anyway, I'm going to make another cup of tea. It's coming up to 7 o'clock. I think what I'm going to do is I'll shut this video off, and we'll do another video on something else. I'll probably put this one out first, so that there's like a story about life, as it were, and then we'll do something else in camp. I do apologise, it's been a bit waffly and rambly and everything else, so we'll just have to see. But at the moment, I've not got high hopes for Lassie's mobility. Like I said, I think, you know, hopefully, fingers crossed, that her legs get better enough that she can at least move around the house and everything else like that a bit easier, and, you know, maybe do very short walks. It would be nice if she could do that very short walk into camp, but you know, at the moment, even a 45-minute walk, which is really what we were doing at home, like 2 walks a day, like 45 minutes each or something like that. So whether I'd have taken her to Dartmoor or done a local short walk at home, the same thing would have happened. Well, they say, you know, because we weren't doing anything any different. So I think it's just one of those things that happens. I mean, you know, it's just, as the expression goes, shit happens sometimes. I think I'm going to put my t-shirt on. It's just cooling off a little bit, and my jacket. And then we'll go from there. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next, in the next video.